Last year, 2016, the talk of the entire year, just about any publication that you could come up with, was the Internet of Things. To borrow a phrase that I used to use when we played chess, the Internet of Things is dead. Long live the Internet of Things. This podcast is brought to you by Ignition from Inductive Automation. This is Gary Minchell. Early in 2017, I had a chance to interview Maciek Krantz, who wrote this book, Building the Internet of Things, put out by Wiley. Interesting book. It's very practical oriented. Every chapter applies into implementations, and he even goes so far as to outline some obstacles and ways to overcome things and change management, because basically Krantz said two important things, and one is that the Internet of Things is going to change the way you do business. It's going to change everything. And in fact, in some cases, it already has. The second thing is it's less of a technology problem these days and more of a people problem. For you to get the most out of your Internet of Things experience, technology, initiatives, programs, whatever you're working on, it's going to be a people change management program and problem more so than even technology. Although whenever you're connecting things, even though it's a lot better these days than it was in the, good God, do you remember trying to connect things in the 90s? It is so much better now. Just have to be reminded, I was talking to my grandson who's 9, and just told him how I marveled at the fact that he and his sister, who is 7, get out their iPads and go to Minecraft, each on their individual Minecraft iPad, but they're collaborating together to build something. Don't even realize it. They don't even know. They walk up, they go to the next room and everything, just collaborating. And I said something about connecting. He's 9. He's not a geek. His dad's an airline pilot. He's not a geek. That sort of thing. And he just says, oh, all you have to know is their IP address. You just put the IP address in, you just connect, and it's easy. It's so simple a 9-year-old could do it. No, to all you engineers out there, I know that the Internet of Things entails a lot more engineering than that, but still, compared to where we have been, it's very much easier. We're going to just see connected everything. Enterprises, Rockwell's phrase is the connected enterprise, for example. I think Cisco is now talking about the Internet of Everything. Other people are doing the same thing. And so a lot of pieces are really coming together. Internet of Things as a topic of speculation and what the heck is it and all that is dead. And we're now talking about how do we get the most out of putting it in. And it's the same benefits we've been talking about in automation for years. This is, to me, is the next step up in automation. And more and more and more, I saw it coming when I was still at the magazine, that it's less and less about talking about the next new product. So I wonder where magazines are going to go when they can't just be product things, which is kind of just vehicles for their advertisers. I don't know where they're going to wind up, but at any rate, we're not going that way. It's less and less about all of the products and more about taking all these products, putting them together, and getting business benefits. Typical business benefits are faster time to market because I get processes up faster. I can do more and better services. I can do predictive maintenance instead of reactive maintenance, for example, and save a lot of just tons of money on downtime. I can connect with customers and suppliers on each end of my supply chain, and wring either expenses out of the whole thing, or react faster to either outages or problems at a supplier, or customers saying through their dollars or however, through warranty or just through social media, saying, hey, I want this and I don't like this, and boom, I can react to it because I'm all connected. And that's kind of where the Internet of Things is gone, and it's all really interesting. And that's kind of where that is. So I thought I would lead that off in my first podcast of the year, and hopefully I do a few more this year than I've done in the past. That's a goal. I don't do goals and New Year's resolutions, but be that as it may, I do need to do more of these things, and so I hope to pick it up. I've been reading a lot of different things coming across my desk on trends for the year. Everybody does trends pieces at the end of a year, beginning of a year, and so on. Trends are interesting, and I've already hit one. I think Internet of Things as a trend of discussion is less, and the trend we'll see in Internet of Things is more uses out of it. We'll see more use cases. We'll see more people putting together programs. Right now, I've been running across people saying, they're at the point of where I'm evaluating a lot of stuff. I'm looking at how I'm connected, and then I say, they ask, do I need a consultant or an integrator to come in and help me get things connected? So all you systems integrators out there who are always worried about the next surge of technology is going to put you out of business, no, if you can put together a business plan to help customers put this together, you will be able to make money. Most of the trends I'm seeing are just a continued drive toward intelligence at the device. We're seeing in the expanded networking and Internet of Things arena more power in what's called the edge or edge devices. We can take, for instance, I've written a lot about Dell. I've worked with them some, and they've developed a gateway edge device with a lot of, what are they? They're a basically at heart a computer company. So you take a computer and storage and software that can connect with a whole bunch of different things, and then you can connect it to a whole bunch of ports which go out into all kinds of different kinds of networks, and maybe even add analytics at the edge to cut down on the bandwidth of what I need to send up to enterprise analytics and that sort of thing. Anyway, that sort of stuff is a trend. More intelligence just keeps flowing out to the edges and to the devices. We'll see apps. We may see more actual apps like your App Store, Google Play, those kind of things popping up, because another trend that we're going to see is much more use of smartphones for manufacturing and industrial purposes. Heck, they've already got them and they want to use them. They know how to use them. Let's just supply the stuff to all the different kinds of workers, operators, maintenance technicians, engineers, and so on. Heck, even finance geeks, that can make much more use. It'd be so much faster. I can drill things right to them and so on. So we'll see more of that kind of stuff coming along too. I've had an opportunity several times to see demonstrations of augmented reality, and they're way cool. I've been writing about that kind of stuff since 1999, and we're getting there. The Microsoft HoloLens I've had on a couple times. There's other things coming along. People ask me about that versus virtual reality. Now, augmented reality, I can still see stuff around me, but it's augmented. So I can look at a machine and maybe see a drawing of how to fix it, or maybe I can look at a machine and in my glass real time I can get status updates or alerts or alarms or something like that. I interacted with a machine where I could go like that and operate, actually do operator interface. I could make a fan go slower or faster. I could turn on a light. I could see, oh, you go like that or something like that. It's the way it was programmed. In another one, they had a 3D CAD model of a machine, and I could walk around and look at the various aspects of the machine as I walked around. That was all at Automation Fair with Rockwell. And Beckhoff was showing something at the IMTS show that was just a very thrown together, real easy, real quick thing, but it still showed the ability to use augmented reality. I expect to see by the end of the year a lot of augmented reality getting very practical and useful, and I think we'll see a lot more of that. Conversational systems, Siri, do this, Alexa, do that, or whatever. Hope you're wearing headphones and your Alexa doesn't turn on. Anyway, they're also known as bots in some ways, and I think that's another thing that we're going to play with. That one will come, I think we'll see augmented reality coming a little bit more maybe than conversational systems, but I think conversational systems are quite interesting. I'm reading and hearing a lot about it when in the technology podcasts and reading that I do, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. Mesh, we've had a lot of interesting discussions over the years on wireless sensor networks that are based on mesh technology. I think we'll see a lot more mesh kinds of ideas in that sort of thing. Security is going to continue to be a huge thing, and you can't have Internet of Things and all this connected stuff without paying attention to security, and we have been paying attention to security. And an awful lot of security really is not technology, it's people. Social engineering is more relevant, or stupidity, than technology at times. But we're going to have to pay attention to it. Gartner was calling it adaptive security architectures, which is kind of an interesting term, and we'll see more there. There is, and work in analytics, I think, is going to become huge. I mean, it already is, but I think we're going to see a lot better analytics. And tied to analytics, it is of no use unless we have some kind of visualization. Ties back to the smartphone analogy, use of HTML5, so that a supplier can write this stuff and it can deploy wherever. It's going to be very, very important for the suppliers to do, because customers are going to expect it, and so on. So I expect all of that. I think my wild card for the year is blockchain. If you haven't studied blockchain, pick up a book. The Winter MIT Technology Review has a short article on it, and I've picked up some ideas from some other places. There's going to be a speaker in February. At the end of February, I will be at the Industry of Things event in San Diego. It's the 20th and 21st of February. And that will be quite interesting. And one of their keynote people is a specialist. His name is Andrew Keys, and he's going to talk on blockchain. Blockchain is the technology behind Bitcoin, the digital technology. So, and it allows for persistent, encrypted, safe, and persistent in a sense of also it's a persistent connection, but it also maintains the history of the transaction that you can't get into and edit by virtue of the technology. This is perhaps good for pharma in some of the trail that needs to be left behind, and especially in regulated industries like pharma. So other things too. It could be used in collaboration, I have read, because of this persistent, stable connectivity with someone else, and the trail that it leaves that can't be edited back. Very interesting stuff. So blockchain is my kicker technology coming in. So kind of wrapping that up, is I've probably rambled on long enough for this podcast, but that's a little bit of look at what I'm looking at this year to keep going on. Connectivity is big. Use of the Internet of Things, not just speculating over what it is, but actually using it, is going to be big. And then I really suggest you get some information, start reading up on blockchain, or if you're a business manager of some kind, get one of your good engineers who likes to think ahead and have them start working on ideas for using blockchain. So, thoughts for the year. Kick off 2017. Hopefully it's a better year than 2016. Hey, we can all count on it. Anyway, this podcast is brought to you by Ignition from Inductive Automation. This is Gary Mitchell. Have a good day.